The ayes to the right, 379. The noes to the left, 137. So the ayes have it, unlock!
So that was the moment today that MPs voted to decriminalise abortion. You can now have an abortion at home with pills in the post up to the right before your baby is about to be born. It doesn't matter what the reason is. It could be that you just didn't like the gender of the child. It was meant to be a girl, but you wanted a boy, and there are now no consequences for that whatsoever. Currently, before this vote, if you want to get rid of the baby that you are carrying, you can only do it up to 24 weeks. And if you want to do it after that, it has to be because there is some serious reason, like a disability, or there's a risk of the mother going to die due to pregnancy complications. And that has to be done by a doctor, signed off by multiple doctors. But now all of that regulation is going to completely go, and there will be no consequences whatsoever for any woman that decides that she wants to get rid of her baby, even if it is right before the baby is due to be born. This means that babies will be killed that could have survived perfectly fine outside of the womb. And very big support from MPs for this decriminalisation. 379 votes in favour, 137 votes against. And the reason why this is so shocking is because actually only 1% of the population support the decriminalisation of abortion up to birth. So clearly the opinion of MPs is completely out of whack with reality. We've seen this in various other circumstances before, like for example the Houses of Parliament, or rather the House of Commons, being 3/4 pro-Remain and only 1/4 pro-Brexit, when Theresa May was trying to negotiate her Brexit deals and dealing with people who didn't want Brexit or wanted a soft Brexit. This is just another case of MPs being completely out of kilter with what the balance of opinion is in the general population. And I thought that MPs are supposed to represent this country and represent their constituents, and not just do what they believe, but do what the people they represent believe, because they are a representative. That is ultimately their job. And so they should have taken the fact that only 1% of the population wants this into account when deciding how to vote today. But clearly that didn't matter to them, and they just voted purely on personal opinion. And that, I think, is morally wrong. It's not just what's happened today here to me. It is not just morally wrong because, in my opinion, killing a baby without good reason right before it's about to be born seems morally reprehensible to me. But it's also morally reprehensible that MPs simply do not care, when they choose how to vote, what the population means. The population that they are supposed to be representing when they go and vote in Parliament. And I want to show you what Jacob Rees-Mogg had to say about this, and then I want to show you Miriam Cates's analysis. Her analysis of it as a woman really shows why this is something that is not just bad news for babies, but this is bad news for women as well. So let's take a look at Jacob Rees-Mogg first, and then we'll take a look at Miriam Cates.
Before I get on to my monologue, I can't but say a few words about that terrible vote from the House of Commons to allow infanticide of babies in the womb between 24 weeks and natural birth. This is a great tragedy. It means that up to 2,500 babies, on Antonia Antoniazzi's figures, 1%, could be killed in this way. Now the law is on its way to being changed. It is the cult of death that the Labour Party has. It will be seen by so many of them voting to finish people off, the elderly, in a vote later this week. It's one of the great sadnesses of this nation, and it puts us back to ancient Roman times when infanticide was legal.
So pretty shocking words there from Jacob Rees-Mogg, calling the Labour Party a death cult and saying we're going back to ancient Roman times. We had Miriam Cates post this article before the vote went ahead today, saying the UK is about to pass Europe's most extreme abortion law. And she spoke about this on GB News, and I think what she had to say was very interesting.
Women could be spared prosecution for terminating a pregnancy after 24 weeks in England and Wales.
Bodies concerned that an increasing number of women are being investigated by the police for illegally ending their pregnancies.
So let's talk now to GB News presenter, of course, Miriam Cates, who feels very strongly about this, Miriam, don't you? So currently, anybody can access an abortion, even up to 40 weeks, with the right medical condition and with the OK of 2 doctors. And that means you are not criminalised. But how would this change that system?
Yes, so at the moment, the main abortion law, if you like, the time limit is 24 weeks. So with the agreement of 2 doctors, a woman can end a pregnancy for essentially any reason up until 24 weeks. Now,
but you can end a pregnancy up to 40 weeks?
Yes, if in certain circumstances, for example, if there's a disability or certain extenuating circumstances. But importantly, that termination has to be done by doctors or by medics. You can't do it yourself. And there are really good reasons for that, which is basically to safeguard women, because DIY abortions are obviously very dangerous, and the last thing we want is complications. And one of the reasons that we've seen an increase in prosecutions of women who are having illegal abortions, which is only small, by the way, there have been 6 actually since 2022, it's not hundreds, as some of the proponents have claimed, is that during COVID, the government suspended face-to-face appointments in abortion clinics, which meant that women could phone up to get abortion pills over the phone and then have them posted out, rather than going to a clinic, checking that they are under 10 weeks, which is the legal limit for these pills, and then taking them on the premises to make sure that they're safe. So in the first 18 months after that pills by post regime was introduced, 10,000 women were hospitalised with complications. And actually all the prosecutions...
In the UK?
In the UK. And all the prosecutions...
That's insane. 10,000 women hospitalised with complications because of these pills by post. And all this law change is going to do is going to make that number go even higher. If it's not just pills by post for in the early stages of pregnancy, but up to birth. That's terrifying.
We've seen since then, the 6 have been a result of people obtaining the pills by post after the 10-week limit for those pills.
And so that had a material effect on the woman's health. What did it do to the
Well, obviously, it ends the
it.
life of the child. And what we've got to remember is it's not just women who can procure these pills when there's no face-to-face appointment. And earlier this year, a man called Stuart Warby was sent to prison for obtaining these pills fraudulently. He got his friend's girlfriend to phone up and pretend to be pregnant. He obtained the pills. He spiked his girlfriend's drink with the pills, ended her pregnancy against her will. So the reason that we have this regulated abortion system is to protect women.
So there we go. That was Miriam Cates on GB News, and I think she makes a pretty good argument here that well, essentially, the lefties who insist that we must make abortion a free-for-all and we must completely decriminalise it, they're actually not protecting women. We talk about this as a, well, I wish people talked about it in a nuanced way of we're debating the rights of women versus the rights of a child. But actually, what Miriam Cates has shown there is that the rights of the woman are impacted either way. If you decriminalise this, yes, some women may have some more freedom to have abortions without any consequences until right up to birth, but yes, a few women may feel like they've benefited, but a heck of a lot more are going to suffer from complications. You're going to have a lot more of these dodgy abortions that mean you have thousands of women having complications and ending up in hospital. Some of them may even die, but also you've got potentially the abuse of this pills by post system by partners who want to force you to have an abortion, even if you want to carry your child. So this is not good news, and the fact that so many MPs were in favour of this, even though the vast majority of the general population are against it, if you ask me, is very, very scary. This is a bad move, and well, what can we do now? It's been passed, but I'm not sure exactly if the Lords can do something to try and reverse this and stop this from going in to legislation, but let's see what happens. I'm Chloe Dobbs, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe to Reason if you've not already so you don't miss out on any more videos.